Welcome to the Trading Lounge and the Commodities report, but starting with the US dollar index here. And simply put, we've got a corrective pattern across the 95 as wave 4, and we're looking for a move up higher, possibly to 100, which is the next, well, it's not the next level, it's the next major level, but the level that we're actually looking for here is 98. And there's a couple of different counts, but the main point is that the trend is still up. We'll be looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 across here, and then 5 up here. So still pressure on certain commodities to the upside. Okay, you can get more detail about this in the FX report, of course. The gold market, which is basically responding to that healthier US economy, and we're seeing this push down. So on the weekly chart here, this particular pattern here is corrective, and it is a bit high for a wave 4. Yes, I understand that, but that is quite common as well, and we're looking at this market to work lower. And with that in mind, well, from wave 4 here, say, we've got wave 1, 2, 1, 2. So we're basically impulsing to the downside here. The market should stay within group 2 and work lower. So that means that this is group 2 here, 65, 72 and 80. This zone here, we'll see perhaps more corrective price action in here before we see further downside. But just drilling in here, I've mapped it out like this here, in terms of little A, B and a C for wave 4 here, pulling back to the 38.2 retracement level here, wave 5 down, wave 4. So essentially we're looking for this group here to become the resistance. And yeah, so look, if it doesn't pan out like this and you see that 65 here is resistance, and that means that we need a reference point, a retest of that, a reference point here, which is your trigger for your short trade here, and you need that on 65. Otherwise, allow it to mature here, and you should be able to see it sort of fade from that point with lower highs coming into play here. The copper market's not working with the precious metals market, and in fact, even though we've had a wave 4 up here, I can see from the pattern that we're going to be making new highs, and that is based on this situation here of 5 waves down here, 3 waves back up, and 5 here, and then this market moving up and taking this low out here, which creates overlapping wave structures. So would look at this as being up for 1 in 5 waves, and ABC back here, and then up here. So that's what we're looking there, which is very good for the BHPs of the world. Okay, just drilling into that a little bit here, just off the low here, you can see the 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4. Four's always, not always, mostly sideways and complicated, then wave 5 here. So we can be looking at some type of corrective pattern here that can actually pull back 50-60% here. This is obviously the distance above can be the distance below here, but the main point here, this block of volume turnover here is the support for that market to the upside there. The oil market, we're looking at the corrective pattern to the upside here, a corrective rally. It's taking its time and getting there, but we're still considering 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5 here, then fading out from this point here. But if this, so this was wave B here, so up for 1 and back for 2 here. So realistically, if this low here gets taken out, we can use that as a reference point to short from there, just in case it doesn't continue to, to build to the upside here. Okay, so that one, and then looking to add at 48 as a retested resistance there as well. The grains, soybeans, wheat and corn, all going pretty much according to plan. We're short in the soybean market, expecting a retest of 1,000, which it's doing now. So we should see some sort of rally here. I'm not going to get into it at the moment, but then we should see it fade from that point there and yeah, well, that's that, I guess. The wheat market's the same as well. It's retesting. We're short in this. It's retesting the 500, and we can look at it doing that. It may not even get that far there because it starts to create overlapping wave structures. So from here, we're looking for 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So we're trying to look for, that. So it may not even come back this high here. Okay, yeah, anyway, that's all good there, on track there. The corn market, we're still not triggered in long or short. We've got a short at 382 here on this low here, and a long on 394 here. So anyway, we'll see how we go, and if we don't take this low out here, then we'll bring this up to here and look to short from that point there. And if this is an inside here, then we'll bring this down to look for the long trade here. As simple as that. So nothing to do here just yet for this market. The coffee market, yes, well, we were looking at just going back over this here. Don't worry too much about the orange ones, just for my reference point really. But in a nutshell, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the extension in wave 5, which happens in commodities. So we've got 1 and 2 here, and we're looking down for 3, 4 and 5 here. So this wave 4 rally here, it should be 38.2% of this length of wave 3 here. Give or take. So yeah, look at that. Looks like it's just about done and dusted at that point there. But it does appear we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we just got to be a little bit careful, because wave 4s can tend to be a bit, they can just basically double in size. So we don't normally trade fourth wave. So we really do need to see a breakdown here of that. And obviously this is the support here. So anyway, let's just allow that to be, but it's definitely a wave 4, and we're looking for further downside. So it'll be heading, we'll see it. We'll see it next session. So not a problem. The cotton market, well, we're looking for it to move. We've got 5 waves up here on the daily. We're looking for 50-60% retracement level here. We'd always held 62 as being, reasonably important, because it's actually 618, the golden mean, the golden ratio. So we'll see this dance across here, subtle but important. Obviously, we may not see this B wave come into play here. So the correction itself can be just in this section here. So we just still need to allow this to complete down through to here. This has a strong representation of an impulse wave to the upside. So we're still confident that this is a corrective move down here, and we need to allow it to come in and complete into its space here. The cocoa market, doing everything that we wanted it to do. Just going to clean this up a little bit. They move around when you open and close the programs. Now, here, this is quite good really, because the way that we were looking at this here was just simple. The A wave in 5 waves, B wave in 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for the C wave here, and then up from there. So we need to see this land, and then we need to try and do our best to work out to see if we can get a little impulse wave up here. If we get that 5 waves up there, then we kind of know that we're on our way at that point. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, we're getting closer there. So just a little bit more time for this one. Let's just have a look at the London market while I'm here. Just yeah, okay, we'll probably see this. I mean, this, we'll have to look at this in terms of the A wave, a B wave in 3 waves here, and then the C wave in 5 waves here. But because this came up really quite high here, we've definitely got a flat correction happening. So we wouldn't expect it to come down through here. In fact, it may even just stop here and work higher from this particular price point here's major trading level. So anyway, it's sort of falling into place quite nicely. So yeah, let's, I think sort of later in the week we should start to see what we want to see here. and look for a long trade there. So yeah, look, all going quite well. Keep an eye on the oil market. The copper being stronger there will be good for the BHPs and the Rios of the world. But we'll still look short on soybeans, wheat, and we'll wait for corn to do its thing. The cotton and the cocoa are kind of shaping up now to be completing their corrections, and we can look to be going long in those perhaps later in the week, at latest early next week. All right, cheers.